and so that you can complete quicker. In terms of workplace experience, you are in the workplace, so we don't have a problem with that. So basically, as I'm saying, this program has cost us, well, close to about 7 million. And we can't afford to lose that kind of money. And we're asking every single delegate on this program to ensure that you complete it. Now it's not a matter of we cannot make it to the classroom, or my car is broken down or whatever. I mean, some of these things do happen. So what we are saying is, now you got the device, we are carrying on with the training. You can sit at home, you can do it over weekends. You don't have to spend all your whole weekend doing this program because you got other work to do. But please ensure that we complete it in time so that the provider can be paid. We can report on this and say that we've basically got 100% competency, which obviously that's what we're looking at. And we want to ensure that every educator is computer literate. I'm sure most of your subject advisors may sometimes find it a little boring, but think about the others that are not, au fait with the device. Now, from my side, I wish you luck, good luck, and may you complete it so that, as I said, we can report it. And I'm sure GDE will also need some positive results at the end of the day. Thank you. Gerard, you can come in, and I think Walter needs to come in as well.
Okay, thank you, Vasu. We are very glad to know that we have your back, we have your support in everything that we are doing. And we're just going to set out, there was a little technical glitch on one of our machines, but everything is sorted out, and we're going to make sure we continue to flow smoothly in what we're doing here. All right, I'd like to welcome Walter from the GDE and to hear what our department has got to say about this journey that we're going to take over the next 5 to 6 months. Thank you. Over to you, Sir Walter.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the platform. I would like to just start by welcoming all the colleagues that are on the platform. I'm interestingly watching the numbers. I'm busy admitting people onto the platform. Colleague Vasu has said a mouthful. I just want to reiterate a few things. Firstly, saying that I also hope that the training and the program will run smoothly without any glitches as we are conducting this training using a virtual space. And I will also like to really appreciate all the confirmations that we received when we sent through the Google form over to yourselves, colleagues, to confirm that you're going to be taking part in this program going forward. Having said that, I am inundated with a lot of emails from the districts, colleagues who want to be part of the program, and they are correctly indicating that they were in the original list. But as I have said, we had to go through the process of ensuring that people reconfirm and commit that they are going to be taking the program going forward after a long break that we had. And unfortunately, all the people that never responded to the Google form were taken off the list. So we are currently sitting with 86. subject advisors across the province, and those are the only people that will be permitted to go through with this program right through until we finish the program around September. We earmarking September because we know that October, November, we will be busy with the process of examinations. So I want to make a request as well. I know it is very easy for us to share the classroom links or the training links with other colleagues within our districts. But the appeal that I want to make is that please do not share, and I will repeat, please do not share the links with other colleagues from the districts who are not registered with the second part of registration. The reason is that the service provider is paid per head. So if we have more than 86 subject advisors on the platform, we're going to have a serious challenge. Our target is 350. We have 264 educators. We have 86 subject advisors, and that has reached our mark, which is the 350. That is going to be, that is budgeted for this particular program. Now, let's say that you decide to share the link with other colleagues within the districts who are not in the final list. Those colleagues are not going to have their assessments marked. They're not going to be graded. So it will be a futile exercise to have people that are not on the list to be attending the classes and expect to be getting the certificate and accreditation at the end of this particular training. So that's the request, to say the focus is on the people that have confirmed. We are sitting at a total of 59 people right now that are on the platform. We are expecting 86, which is also worrying because those that are not going to be part of the training today will have blocked the other people that have sent so many emails to myself to say, please, we want to be part of the program. Colleagues, I want to wish you all the best going forward. I do not have any doubt that the skills that you're going to learn in this program are going to assist you. Most of you have been utilizing laptops. You are not like some of our educators who are handling laptops for the very first time, but most of you have got experience. But I know that over and above the experience that you have, you are going to indeed benefit, colleagues. And I want to wish you all the best going forward right through until we get to September. Thank you so much. Thanks for the platform as well.
Thank you, Walter. I think we have actually set the pace for what needs to take place. We fully understand how the rules of engagement have to come in and have to take place. And it is important that we stick to those rules, because as we move in that particular engagement, it ensures that we achieve the objective that we need to attain with regard to this particular qualification. So EDTP, GDE, we fully appreciate your involvement, your backing, and we know that even though we might not see you in every single session, you are actually with us, and this qualification is well cemented and grounded for the success that it has been earmarked for. Now, I would like to just get a word from our hosts here, which is Extensive, and hear what they have to say. You can see, hello, Antoinette, I see you there also, you've logged on. Could we have a word from Extensive just to talk about this project, and so that we get all the formalities, but the important words out of the way as we begin our training. Over to you, ma'am. Your sound, ma'am, we can't hear you.
Hi, good day. A very warm greeting to yourself, Mr. Gaylord Ndlovu. Good day, sir. Am I audible? Okay. I want to give a very warm welcome to all of the subject advisors and stakeholders who have joined us today in this Teams meeting for the Training for the Learnership Program. I want to express a very warm welcome and greeting to the stakeholders of the project who have stood by us over the past year, and to welcome all new members who are part of the project for the first time. In particular, I want to acknowledge the role of Mr. Vasu Naidu and Mr. Gerard Francis of the ETDP CETA, who have played such a valuable role in making sure that although there was a pandemic and this project halted, it has resumed again. I also want to acknowledge Mr. Walter Keswa and the tremendous role he has played in ensuring that the project gets back on track, in reaching out and personally making contact to all of the participants and going to a lot of effort to regather everybody and get everybody back. So we acknowledge you, Mr. Keswa, and we appreciate it. And we know that without your interventions, we would not have been able to be in the position with all of the learners that we have today starting training. To the extensive team, I want to acknowledge Mr. Kolam Klanga and Mr. Gaylord and Glovu, who are our facilitators that you'll be seeing a lot. And I also want to acknowledge our administrator, Mr. Bongani Makwele, who you will be introduced to. So this group that we're at today is a very nice group in my view, and we're consisting of, other than 4 or 5 monitors from the stakeholders in, we have 86 subject advisors in the program. 81 of the subject advisors were with us last year already, but 5 are new participants. But altogether, what we're doing now is we are revisiting and restarting the program, and we are going to work with you on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings online, and also through the various mediums that the rest of my team will be sharing with you, the ways we're going to communicate, ways we're going to be sharing content and working, including the Teams classes, including our online learning portal where data will be available for you and you can submit assessments. And we believe that it's going to be a fun project, and it's something that you will be able to participate in without needing to attend physical training, because we are going to offer everything online. And there's a lot of support that my team will be explaining to, the support that we'll be giving you through the various methods to ensure that you are able to gain the skills and complete the assessments that are required for this national certificate. I truly do believe that being part of this national certificate program in end user computing is really valuable. As a subject advisor, it gives tools to assist in your daily work. I think just as the pandemic hit us and the world changed, and then the world changed again, and now we have a new normal, we cannot afford as citizens to be left behind in the use of technology. And a blended approach, and one was able to, in years in the past, shy away from technology, and even for myself, I've not always fully embraced it, but now in the new environment that we are in, even though I'm not comfortable in front of my laptop and I would prefer to be standing in front of a group of people rather addressing you, we don't have that luxury and that option anymore. And we really need to get a grip on the technologies that we are using in our society and in the workplace and in schools and within the Department of Education, and we need to be able to master that technology. So I will also be learning a lot in this program, and we will all be, I believe, on a journey between now and the end of the year to say that we have technical resources that have been given to us by the Department of Education. We have laptops that we are using, we have access to resources, and we need to now gain the tools to ensure that we can effectively use this technology to be the most effective participants that we can be. So I do believe and have confidence that these skills will really assist all of the delegates in this program. And I would also like to express my confidence in the training team that we have identified and the program schedule that we'll be working with. And I'm not going to give away too many of the details right now because the other members of the extensive team, that's us, the training provider, is still going to address you. But I really want to welcome everybody to the program, and I want to also exhort you to try to give your best don't miss any classes. Make sure that you're submitting your assessments weekly, and before you wipe your eyes out, it will be the end of the year and we'll be preparing for you to be getting your national certificate in end user computing, and you will have real skills. So with that, I think that concludes my address this morning. I want to thank everyone for your attention in this time, and thank the facilitator, Mr. Gaylord Ndlovu, for lending me this opportunity to address the group this morning. I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Antoinette. All right, so I think, I didn't introduce myself to the new guys, the 5 new subject advisors that are on. So I'll be facilitating this particular qualification. My name is Gaylord Ndlovu, and my credentials, I think maybe I should just touch on that quickly, but let me just bring something on the screen for us to quickly take a look at. So I'll be doing the whole part with regard to facilitation, and we're going to talk about how this whole computer aspect is going to come together for us. The important thing is that at the end of this part, I trust that we are going to be fully aligned to the GDE's mandate with regard to digitalization that is going to take place in South Africa, but most importantly from the fact that Gauteng seems to be leading the entire country when it comes to education. So this is a beautiful drive that we put together. I am a facilitator, I'm also an assessor and a moderator. I've been involved with ICT for 20 some years now, and actually with SETA, sector education training, for the last 5 years. And this is a great opportunity to be able to impart and build competence and capacity across the entire spectrum of where we are. I'm an honors graduate. That's how far I've gone academically. I'm currently doing my MBA now, so I am going higher, but I've done a lot of professional competences in other areas as well to be able to understand the playing field that we are in. So that's your facilitator, and this is the gentleman that you'll be working with as we complete this qualification, even in this period that has been given to us. So right now, I'd like to introduce a new member to this team. His name is Mr. Bongani Makwele, and he's going to talk to us about the administration needs that are required in this particular part. So he's going to talk to the rollout, the administration, and all the different aspects that we all need to know with regard to the qualification and what is expected of you. Even though Antoinette did touch a bit on some of those aspects, Ubongani is going to just give us all the specifics that we need to handle on that part. Mr. Makwele, up to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ndlovu. I would like to appreciate this opportunity. I am Bongani Makwele, the extensive facilitator and the assessor. They know me as an assessor, but this time I am the administrator. What I would like us to talk about is all that is concerning the administration. But first of all, I'd like to also recognize our leaders from GDE and also ETDP, Mr. Walter and Mr. Vaso, and also the leaders from Extensive ICT Academy. What I'm going to talk about is the documents that I've sent to you in a few weeks back. In this group, we are having 86 candidates. In that 86, we are having 5 which are new. And then in those 81 candidates that we have here, I've sent the letters that are letting you know about the date of attending the meetings or the training. And then to the new candidates that I said there are 5, I've sent the letter together with the letter that is explaining everything that they need to know when it comes to attending and also submitting the document. And then on that single email that I've sent to them, I've also attached some files, which is the contract and also the consent form. And also I'll let them to also email me the certified copy of their ID and also the certified copy of their qualifications. So that is what I'm going to talk about right now. It's the consent form, it's a contract, and it's a ID copy, and it's a certified copies of your qualification. I would like you to email me those documents in replying to the email that I've sent to you, which is junior.administrator@extensive-ICT-academy at extensive.co.za. You will just have to reply on that email that I sent you last week containing those documents. And then what else I want to talk about, it's the Google form. Okay, since we are attending on Microsoft Teams, we are going to do the survey. So the Google form is in some sort of a survey, but we can call it a register. You would just click on the link. I've already posted the link with that survey or the register that we are going to use, which is the Google form. You will have to click it and then you fill in with your details. The facilitator will always give you some time to fill up that form in every training that we have. So make sure that you don't leave the training without filling in that Google form. It's the register for a day. It symbolizes whether you attend or you don't attend. So that is the first register that we are going to use. And the second register that we are going to use is the one that is from the Microsoft Teams. So that one will simply specify how often do you attend. Do you leave the meeting without waiting for it to finish, or you just wait for the meeting until it ends? So the Microsoft Teams register will specify your logins and your log out. So we need you to be careful when it comes to that, because if you go in and go out, it will simply note it down. And the other one is, so finally, we are going to use two registers. It's a Microsoft Teams register and together with the Google Form register. I kindly ask you to fill those registers up and also email me those documents that are being requested from you to email them back to me, especially to those who are new in this training that we have. That's all that I have on my side. Yeah, I can take it back to Mr. Ndlovu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thank you. I believe that we've taken up all the admin aspects that are required and can now focus on training what we are intending on offering, because it's important we are very aware of what we need to be doing in this dispensation. So coming on this part, the very important things that we need to understand is that with regard to this training, we are really supposed to be focused on what we need to do. We should be very focused. We don't have much time. I've been instructed that within the next 6 months, we need to do all the different unit standards that we have to take on. And so the whole thing is going to be about speed. And talking about speed is that you're all required to be partly of, to be very involved in everything that takes place. So I'd like to ask you to totally apply yourselves, dedicate yourself, make time to be part of what we need to be doing. And so with regards to the administration, I notice hands are rising, they're coming up, and individuals are might be having issues that need to be taken care of. And for that part, please put up, let me just go to the rules of the house. Let's begin with the rules that we need to know as we engage and do this particular qualification. Everybody is expected to attend.
everyone is expected to attend. Mr. McClellan did touch on the fact that you have to fill in the Google form, which is part of the registration that you are actually there. But the beautiful thing about virtual meetings and technology is that they allow us to take timely registrars. So we can keep a registration look or board or trend just to see who's still online and who is not online. And that would allow us to actually know who is in attendance at that time. The second aspect is that the lecturer is basically in charge, or facilitator is in charge. We ask that all your microphones are off. You know, all microphones must be muted at all times. This would allow that we don't have interference or background noise that is coming in when we need to interact. The other aspect is if you need to speak, please lift up your hand, which is what you're doing. Those of you that are not familiar with Microsoft Teams, if this is your first time, there is a hand sign. I don't know if it's visible from this point or it's not being captured, but you'd find that on top of somewhere within your Teams interface is something that looks like an open palm, a hand that's lifted up, just as I'm doing now. And when you click on that part, that says you're lifting up your hand. And when you click on it again, it's putting down your hand. So whenever you lift up your hand, we get to know that you've got something to say. Or if you put down your hand, we know that your question or whatever interaction engagement has been covered. We are working as a team. I'll deal with the facilitation. There is an assistant who will attend to the hands that are lifted up. In that way, if you have something pertinent that needs to be acted upon immediately, we would know and we would actually reference and engage you on that part. If it is a general question, please keep that question to the end of the presentation. Our presentations or the sessions are only 1.5 hours long. There is a 30-minute slot at the end where you can actually interact and ask questions and get answers, particularly for what would have been covered during the session, but also if there's general questions that need answers, that would be a good place to actually bring them up, and our team will actually answer you and all that part. And I just put that everyone should be visible at the beginning, but for bandwidth's sake and other aspects, I think let's just take that part out. And, you know, as long as you're present and we can pick you up on the participants listing, that is fine. And it is advisable on that part. So those, I think, are the basic rules. We can't deal with bathroom rules or other aspects at this moment because we are in a virtual environment. And this is going to really, really like what we're doing on that part. So seeing that there's some hands that are up, we will take some hands from, I believe there is Ms. Pringle and Ms. Litwaba and Mr. Makantsi. Okay, so in that order, Ms. Pringle, you have the floor, ma'am.
Good morning. I'm one of the participants that didn't get the Google form, and there are few of us in our district that didn't get the Google form. I know that I was called to ask if I'm still interested in continuing with the training. And I also asked someone else who's part in the district if they got the phone call. So after that, I was fine. I thought everyone was called and everyone who agreed will get the continuation. After that, nothing else was emailed to me. And I think it's not fair to say that you already have your limit of 350. If you know that all of the people who started the process did not complete the Google form, and then persons were called and they agreed to continue with the course, and now they are kicked out. It's not fair because we started the process, and it's not fair that we didn't receive a Google form and now we are kicked out of the process. I have to say that I'm not the only one who got a phone call to verify that we continue with the course, and we did agree to continue with the course, and we were not consulted after that to say that we will receive a Google form to complete. Even during that phone call, nothing was indicated to say we will send you a Google form to complete. The phone call was just to say, are you still interested in this course? And the agreement was to say, in my case, in my other colleague, we said yes. So I don't know when we were excluded from this process. Thank you.
macro. Okay, thank you. That's noted. And we've got Ms. Litwaba, who's next. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning, Gaylord. I just wanted to find out about the register, to say, are we going to receive it through email, or is it going to be posted on chat? Because my chat is disabled, it only says it's available to the team members. So if it's posted on chat, I won't be able to complete the register. So please send it through the email, because I've logged out and came back thinking that the chat will work, but it's still not working. Thank you.
Thank you. That's noted. The team is attending to it. Mr. Lancelot.
Morning, colleagues. I think I just wanted to utter the same utterances from Mem Pringley there, because I was also called, but I didn't receive any email whatsoever. I don't know what will happen. If I'm not in the list, I think I have to know, and then if I'm to join another group later on, I think I'll be comfortable with that. But I just wanted to know if I'm in the list, because I was called also and told the course will continue. But if I'm not in the 350, then I have to know, so that I can back off a little bit from the course. But I was called, but I didn't receive any email whatsoever. So I just have to know if I'm in the list, because I'm not receiving any emails whatsoever, so that I do not disturb the program that is, or the list that has been already put on. I don't know how I can find out if I'm on the list, or not receiving emails. It's an indication that I'm not in the list. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you there, Lancelot. I think the team, the administration team, has actually had your comment, and they are now verifying all the different aspects. Fortunately or unfortunately, but because it's we're starting on a technological framework, there are some glitches which we trust today is going to iron out a lot of things. And as we move forward, those that are having matters such as yours, that they got a phone call or they received a phone call but didn't get emails, all of those will be verified and will be followed up. With everyone else whose hands are up, if you have the same type of question, that will be the solution which will be engaged. The administrators will attend to it and ensure that registrations are confirmed, affirmed, and we can actually move forward knowing that everything has been smoothened out. So if you have a question in that particular area, that is the response that would be coming back to you. If you have a different question, Mr. I've got, is it Showan Khatebe? If you could go ahead if you have something different to contribute.
Good morning, sir. Yes, I had the very same problem with everyone is having, that I was called. I responded to the call that I will still be interested in doing the course, but I have received the emails, but there's no form that came to me about anything to verify with the form. And one other thing, our chat is disabled. I don't know what is happening. Okay, thank you, Mr. Gaylord.
Okay, let me just be clear, Ms. Khatebe. The form you're talking about, is this the Google form, the contract form? Because when you say form and yes. Almost, okay. Which one? The Google form or the contract, or?
The Google form. This year we didn't receive any contract. We signed the contract last year. So this year I only received a call asking me if I'm still interested, or if I did receive the laptop from the department. Those were the questions that I received. Then from then on, we received the messages informing us about the meeting. And I called the one of our facilitators from last year to ask them what is going to happen with the data. Then they said those questions will be answered today, because the amount of data that we are given is the one that we are supposed to use when we are doing the school visit. And with the coronavirus protocols these days, we can't be in the office every day on Tuesday and on Thursday. So I wanted clarity on that. And they said all those questions will be answered today. I don't know if I had to fill in the registration form, the contract again, even if we did last year. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. I can respond to one part of that. The Google form, we've got Bongani Makwele. He spoke to about the Google Forms. He has taken your name and he's going to do a follow-up on all the emails that you sent out. So you should be getting those forms coming to you. With regard to data and other infrastructural aspects, that is going to go back to your operations. Whoever is leading your operations within the department should be able to take care of that. The people that gave you the laptop, because that did not come directly from the college, it came in from the department itself. So reference back to that part. Fortunately, we've got GDE online, and there should be a separate engagement outside of this meeting to answer your question. Thank you, ma'am. Sheila, your hand is up. Sheila said.
So thank you very much. I've filled in the Google form, as well as the call that I got from someone confirming that I'll be able to continue with the course. But I'm surprised I did not get any link for today. I got it from my colleague. So I don't know what should happen there, because I filled in the Google form and there is someone who phoned me to verify if I'm still interested in continuing the course, of which I said yes. But I'm surprised that I'm not getting any communication from you.
Okay, thank you, Sheila. The technical guys are taking a look at that. I know the link was emailed out. Again, as we responded to the Google Forms, we're going to re-verify the email list and ensure that it is updated. And by using today's register, we'll be able to cross-reference and ensure that moving forward, we've got the session on Thursday as well. Moving forward, everything should be ironed out and the kinks are taken out. So thank you on that part. So anyone with a similar question that regards issues of emailing, communication, we are going to go over the entire register again. That's today's register, and everybody that is registered to do the qualification for this year, and ensure that all communication is streamlined going forward. So thank you, Sheila. Mpho, your hand is up. Please just put up your hand if it's something that's pertinent that must be dealt with now. Because general questions, I did say we'll give a session at the end when we have completed, but maybe because it's day one, we might just give leeway to that part. So Mpho, your hand is up, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, and good morning, colleagues. Mine, I don't know whether it's covered. The chat box is deactivated. The second one, the main one, is the computer. I've got the GDE computer that is sick since I received it. The person who called me, I told them that I've got a computer, but now I'm using my personal computer from home. So yeah, I don't have a computer. It's on and off. I can use it, then it does switches off while you are still, in the meeting or you are doing your work. So I've got a computer that is not trustworthy. How can you help me?
All right, thank you, Mpho. Let me just state to everybody that with regards to infrastructural issues and data, that you'd have to liaise with the departmental individual that gave you the computer and whoever is doing operations within the education department. So go back to them and say, my laptop training has started, but these are the difficulties that I'm meeting, and they would take on that part. I did state that the college itself, which is ourselves, are not directly involved with the infrastructure. Ours is to ensure that you get your teaching and the qualification material is brought to you and you're able to achieve that. So any other person in the group, if yours is dealing with infrastructure, that's your laptop, your data, your location, all other aspects which are away from the college itself, you'd have to correlate back with the liaison from the department that spoke to you in the first place. I think that covers on that part. So thank you all, Sheila. It's been noted. We will cross-reference it back, and GDE is listening in as well. So the matter has been escalated. Thank you. Nomasonto, your hand is up.
Thank you, morning colleagues. I just want to find out, I also didn't receive an email for today's meeting. I received it from my colleague. I just want to find out today's register. How am I going to get it, because the chat is disabled and I didn't get any email? Will I receive it through an email? How will they get my email, because there's no chat box enabled? Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. All this teething, okay, the aspect with the emails and the links and the Google Forms, those are teething issues, and we are noting all of them. So anyone else that's saying, I didn't get an email, or I received an email, I didn't get a form, which is administrative, the administrator is attending to that. I did state that we're having teething, obviously, because it's day one, and we're going to iron out all the kinks. So if it's going to be an email issue, if it's going to be a Google Form issue, if it's going to be a link to the meeting itself, it might have been the aspect in the database of getting your email address sorted out, and that's also going to be attended to. The litmus test is actually going to be Thursday when we come in for our second session, and that's when you're going to note that you've really been left out or kicked out, or you're not in the system itself. But thank you for your contribution, ma'am. I see we have the last hand from Ketabuhle. There we go. Choose the people.
Good morning, colleagues. I think I have the same challenge like Sonto. So because already you have alluded that they are dealing with that challenge, I also got the call, but I didn't receive the Google form and also the register, and also my chat box, it's disabled. So it's the same problem that I've got. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. With regard to the chat box, the technical guys are looking at it right now to ensure that that particular facility is made available so that it can be used for the communication at the back. That's where the assistants, or the one that's assisting in this particular session, would be able to communicate with you directly, that way without disturbing the flow of the whole session. So thanks everybody. I see that we don't have any hands anymore, which is a good sign. I highly appreciate the fact that we're starting off. We've now got about 40 minutes to the end of this session. Jeanette, if your hand is coming up because it's something that's pertinent that must be dealt with now, I'm going to give you that opportunity. But if it's just a general question to deal with administration, emails, what GDE is supposed to be doing, there would be an opportunity to deal with that at the end. But if it's something to deal with right now, you may go ahead, ma'am. After yourself, we'll get into today's program. As I did say, it's all about speed. Oh, I see your hand has gone down, so thank you on that point. Right, so team, what's going to take place now is, fortunately, as I said, we've come into a new dispensation which the current pandemic has actually accentuated the need for digitalization to take place. And as subject advisors, you are in a very, very great position where you are now able to influence how digitalization is going to take place within education in this country. I see a hand from Mr. Mhlanga. Mr. Mhlanga is from the extensive team. Sir, if you have something, you may go ahead quickly, because we want to get into the training as we normally do. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Gaylord. Good morning, everyone. I'm just coming in, Mr. Gaylord, to mention, yes, we are available to assist. So if there's anyone that will, once the text box is sorted out by the technical team, this will be the gentleman that will be assisting you, answering questions from the chat box. And those questions that will be directed to Mr. Gaylord will still be referred back to Mr. Gaylord. So it was just to say hello from the chat box. We are available to assist in that regard, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Mhlanga. So let us get into why we're here. We're here to deal with the qualification. This is called end user computing. I'm just going to accentuate the screen. I believe it's in front of your screen right now. And so we're dealing with this registered qualification, which is what the GDE has earmarked for growth within the department itself. We know that there is a strategy to actually digitalize, particularly in Gauteng, to digitalize our education system. At some point, iPads are being handed out in some areas. We've got computer schools that have earmarking as a prototype to actually begin to roll out this whole digitalization across the entire province. And part of that route, which is what you already know, is to ensure that every person within the system, every stakeholder is competent, and more especially the trainers that are yourselves. And you being subject advisors are sitting at a very, very strategic point to ensure that the whole training regimen is sorted out. And in that way, you get to be well informed. Now, I don't think I should go over the whole qualification per se, but this is one of the documents that you will have, that you're going to meet as you go along. At the end, you are going to talk to somebody called Mr. Mdu, who's going to talk to you about the portal where you can download all these documents, where you can upload all these documents, and you'll be able to access every single document that is going to come through from Extensive itself. So this is what the screen looks like. Basically, it's what SAQA hands out to all of us, and it generally will guide what we're doing in that system. Moving forward, this qualification is going to need, or is going to involve, what we call assessments. The whole role of a SITA qualification is that you never fail. However, we're just looking whether you're competent or not competent. And to view that, we have what is called a formative assessment, which happens during the course of our training. And there is summative assessment, which shows that you fully understand what has been trained to you. So the two work concurrently. On Tuesday, like today, you will receive the formative assessment to begin getting you to work and interact with the material that you're required to know in this qualification. On Thursday, we'll give you the summative assessment, which sort of sums up your knowledge base. As I mentioned to you earlier, you are required to be on ball and to be fully involved and to actually make time to ensure that you don't fall behind as we move on in this qualification. The schedule is what I just told you about, that on Tuesdays, right there is the formative assessment. And on Thursdays is when you bring in the summative assessment. Then the expectation is that you will be submitting those documents onto the portal, which will be introduced to you at the end today. And would like you to ensure that, particularly the summative, which you receive on Thursday, you submit this at least by Sunday night, so that we're able to begin marking and taking a look at it, which will allow us to actually come back on Tuesday and do a review of what's taking place. At the end of the second week, which is the Thursday of the second week, we need to ensure that everything is mapped, is assessed, and if there's any glitches that you need to take a look at, we reference back to you. And on Thursday evening, which is our part, we have to have submitted the entire assessment into the system. And this is going to take place every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, there's going to be formal assessments taking place until we get to the end of this qualification. At the end of every single month, we ensure that we're submitting what you've done to the ETDP, back to the SITA themselves, so that they are aware that there is progress that is taking place with the qualification. Our engagement, how we're going to interact with you, will be virtual. I believe with all the subject advisors, we will not be meeting physically in this particular qualification. Everything is going to happen either during a session such as we're having right now, or through the portal itself. The portal is amply designed, and I believe everybody has received a link. Maybe not everybody, but some of you have received a link to the extensive portal, which is going to be your online learning environment. And in that online learning environment, you have the facilities to communicate back and forth, to upload documents, to download documents, and also to take a look at your progress and what you are faring or how you're faring within the qualification itself. The rollout, Mr. Mpele has spoken to you about it. And I just want to touch on the modules that we're going to look at in this first session. Now, you might be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 modules. All those modules are going to be covered within the first 2 weeks. Remember, we're doing the entire qualification within 6 months. That's 130 credits. And it involves about 39 or so, is it 39? I'm just going to get my numbers together, of unit standards that we must take it, which is the modules. And the way a unit standard is structured is that it has a code. For example, we have 117925, which is the SAQA code for the particular unit standard that we're going to be doing in these 2 weeks. And it also has a name, as you see here, where it purely states that this is to describe the concepts of information and communication technology and the use of its components in a healthy and safe manner. Some of you already covered this last year when we started off. The new guys may not have covered it in part, but everyone, I believe, is amply familiar with the different concepts and are using ICT, which is information and communication technologies. And what we will do from a training and facilitation side is to bring in new information and answer questions that you may have on the different concepts that are available. So the 6 that we will cover in the 2 weeks are the concepts of ICT. We're going to demonstrate and that you get an understanding. You demonstrate to us that you understand the principles of the internet and the World Wide Web. The third one is to use a web browser. Most of you have been using Chrome or Edge. I think one's called Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome. We also have Firefox and several other browsers. In the end, all the browsers are the same because they allow us to browse the internet. The fourth one is the ability to use electronic mail, which we're going to focus on Outlook, MS Outlook, which I believe most of you are already using to communicate to the different schools that are within your ambit or within your regimen. The fifth one is how to edit and organize electronic messages within Outlook itself. And the sixth one will be how to use calendar applications in order to set up meetings and all those parts. So these are the 6 that we'll focus on. And even when we give you the formative assessment today, questions or areas of study are going to focus on these 6 areas, which are the key training or learner material you'll be able to get from the portal itself. I've already shown you the screen that it's about speed. We really need to work hard. To go through the 6 different unit standards means you have to really apply yourself. So some of you make sure that you know your weekends are going, or maybe 1 weekend or 2 weekends every single month where you're actually focusing on the study material that's been given to you. The 5 reasons of why you are here. Number 1 is because you have a future perspective. This is not about now. Everything that we're doing, particularly as subject advisors, it's what's going to happen in the future, which brings us to the second one, where we're setting up an education framework for learning within Gauteng, within the nation, and it's actually a global standard now that everybody is moving to a digital platform. So as subject matter advisors, you are streamlining education. You're streamlining how education will really apply this particular wonderful 4th generation revolution, industrial revolution that's coming on now, and how we're going to ensure that learners today, learners in the future, are able to bring digital environment into the national framework or into the economic environment as we move on. Gauteng seems to be the leader, in my view, of education in the country. So you're pace setting how digitalization will take place in the entire country. So don't take yourself lightly about what you're doing on this time, because this is going to set forth how the entire rollout will take place in the country. It's also a social investment because we're moving to what is called ubiquitous computing. Ubiquitous means that computers will become second nature, and that's what's happening across the globe. Some of you already have computers on your microwaves. You're using that. Your televisions are computerized. Almost all of you have a smartphone in your pocket. Digitalization is becoming part of our everyday part. And on the fifth aspect, we're ensuring that we become globally competitive with what we're doing. It's called global competitiveness. We don't want to be left behind. Other nations are already working on digital platforms, and we want to show them that from South Africa, we can actually do the same thing on our part. The qualification, as I've introduced to you, is to describe so the first unit standard that we'll look at is 117925, which is describing the concepts of information, of communication, of ICT, and the use of those components in a healthy manner. So I'm not going to delve deeply into it now. You spoke about data, and the time is, we've only got about 25 minutes before the end of this particular session. So I'm just going to brush on them as we move on. The second one that we're looking at is how to demonstrate an understanding of the principles of the internet and the World Wide Web. This is a different screen from the one I prepared. Should be using the other presentation. But anyway, there we go. It's called 115391. When you access the portal, there is a document that you can download which will actually speak to 115391 that you'll be able to use to reference all the different parts. And what we answer there is the significance of the internet. Why is the internet important? What is the history of the internet development, when it started to where we are today, what the World Wide Web is. You'll find in your books that when internet was started, it wasn't really the World Wide Web. It was being used for military purposes and research purposes, but today it is available to everybody, and that's what the World Wide Web will deal with. Then we have an ISP, what an internet service provider is. Just want to check for those of you that don't know, when you want to access the internet, you don't go there directly. You link through what's called an ISP. Sometimes your ISP is Vodacom itself. They are actually your internet service providers, and there's others that are numerous across the nation, but they are generic. It's not a name, it's the particular service that has been given, and how we can work with the reliability and the stability of the web. The web is a whole different world, but it's allowing for quick, rapid access of information. It can also be abused, and sometimes you might find that it is not stable. You want to get on board, you want to link, and you find difficulties coming on that part. So what we're going to be covering on that part, or what that section covers, is the reliability and the stability of the web. So web is interchangeable with internet on that part. The second one that we're looking at is how to use a browser, basically. I just mentioned that it's using a browser to access the internet, which is what we're going to find at this point. What that covers basically is module number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6, which will be in your book. We need to understand the concepts and the terms that are used in internet. You've heard of things like www, which really means World Wide Web, but there's different other aspects that come in the internet itself. Search engines. What's a search engine? What's a URL? A uniform resource locator, which is actually the web address itself. That is your number 3 in this particular list. We'll look at purposes of web browsers. We'll look at search engines. We'll look at cookies. You know, everybody loves cookies during Easter. I think you had some cookies coming on that part. But in the internet world, there are cookies that we actually use there. And I remember when we grew up without internet, the mouse used to be a rodent that used to run around the house and would kill each time we see it. But nowadays we have a digital mouse. So there are different terms and terminologies that we're going to learn as we come to that part. What an internet cache is, all right? Some people know a cache being a money collection somewhere, but when it comes to the internet world, there's information that is placed in a particular place to allow us to have rapid access of the internet itself, looking at the benefits of using the internet, looking at the limitations of using the internet. Within the education framework, we've got to see how that can benefit us as a nation to actually take advantage of the information highway, which is what the internet is. In module 4, we're going to look at the legal and ethical issues in relation to internet use. Just as we live every day where we're bound by rules, bound by regulation, the internet has that as well. We look at the virus implications on virus X on the internet. We've heard of what is called acceptable internet use, but we also know that other people, because it's a whole world, other persons are using the internet for very unscrupulous acts, which are not legal in that context. So we're going to come and take a look at that aspect. The other aspect that we're going to go on there are the implications of providing internet access to individuals in terms of security of information. This is access to information, very important, and there's actually an act in this nation which speaks about access to information. And the internet is a place where people can hack in, try and get into your information, get into your bank accounts, get into the GDE systems and change your information, get into, when it comes down to learners, they try and get into their marks and try and change their marks and their assessments and things like that. We're going to touch and take a look at that part. We'll look at the security considerations that surround use of the internet. So it's very important that this module 4 is going to come to that part. And it's very, very critical, particularly within the education sphere, that security is picked up on. In module 5, we'll take a look at the browser itself, the different browsers that we use or the different browsers that are available to us as we work. We'll look at how to connect to the World Wide Web. Some of you know that some people use wired connections. You get in an office, there's white wires which you stick onto your computer, but most of you are using Wi-Fi these days. Some of us connect from cellular phones now. You're using, I did mention Wi-Fi. So there's various connections that can come on board. Some people connect through satellites. So we're going to touch on that part. We're also going to look on how to open closed browser applications, something which I think you're very familiar with, because I'm aptly informed that subject advisors are using technology most of the time. So you might actually be way ahead of me when it comes to that part. So this will only deal with web pages and browser information. When we get to module 6, we'll look at customizing what a browser should look like, what the browser application would suit the work that you want to do, how to maximize and optimize that particular tool in the delivery of your work. Number 7, we'll look at how to use the internet. So that looks at navigating the internet, how to use links, how to bookmark, how to find pages, how to save images, how to use videos. I see we didn't write it here, videos and audio, which will come to that point. And then in module 9, we'll look at how you can obtain information. One of the key things we find in education is research. And when we're doing research, we want to be able to source information. We want to be able to also communicate in a legal referenced approach, and how we come to that part, which is also covered in this particular instruction that we put together. On the back after that is this unit standard, which is going to deal with electronic mail. The key aspect of communication that we use in these days is email. So electronic mail is short for email. Okay, I just had to mention that one. And it's very, very important that we understand what that email tool is from. From a statistics point of view, email is the #1 manner in which the world is communicating today. And the sooner we know how the animal called email behaves, we will be able to use it optimally within our work processes. And I believe that is what the GDE wants to achieve, to ensure that everybody can use email as a communication tool to ensure that information is shared adequately, timely, and to the right people in the right time. It also allows us to have rapid communication. Rapid communication means if I email now, you get the email at this moment. It also allows you to respond immediately. And it gives us the advantage that if you can't find me right now, it becomes a repository on which to refer to when on a future perspective if we need to come back to that information. So 116945 is going to touch on email. Again, it's in our books. I told you that we're going to deal a lot with Microsoft Outlook. That is the most popular email client, and I believe GDE is using Microsoft as a basis of communication or of office work. So you'd have Outlook, you'd have MS Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint on a Microsoft backbone. So to support the work that you are doing, most of the examples will come out of a Microsoft environment as well. The things I mentioned there, we're going to touch on etiquette. Etiquette is very important. How do you communicate using email? How is it acceptable? What is the legal framework that is acceptable in our nation, within our department, and then globally, basically, as we go on. I said we'll touch on benefits, limitations of using email, and they're intertwined with the internet. I'll just mention there that some of your emails are not available on a client like Outlook. You can actually have internet email. Some of you may be on Gmail. Some of you may have used Yahoo, Hotmail. So there's several internet email providers as well, which are basically the framework of application is the same, and we'll come and deal on that part. So sending an email, constructing an email, receiving an email, those are aspects that we're going to touch on as we move on. Attaching a file to your email. So as you were speaking earlier on, you're saying, how do you receive your Google Forms? A lot of you have already seen those attachments, but for the purposes of this qualification, we have to cover it, even though you already know what it is and you're already using it, but there'll be new terminologies and new aspects that come in which allow you to apply and use the tool optimally as you proceed. I spoke about receiving emails that we're going to touch on as well, how to print an email, how to keep a hard copy record of what's going on, how to work with multiple emails at the same time, how do you group things together, how do you put them into one space. All of that is going to be covered within this email aspect as we go on that part. And then using the email environment itself, which is what module 15 is going to touch on, just so that your space and the environment that you're working on is precisely what you need. I spoke on this in passing when I said we're going to look at how to organize. How do you lay out an email? How do you set so that it comes together? Let me just touch on and say, wherever you see this term, we call it GUI in the World Web because of its spelling GUI. It's actually a graphic user interface. What that means is that it's not text-based, but rather you've got pictures, icons. As you can see on the screen right now, if you look right at the top, there is pictures. And so sometimes you don't need to see the word cut. When you see that little scissors, you immediately know that it is standardized to be a cut. So it's a graphic user interface, and it just basically beautifies and makes the environment very comfortable to work with. So on this part, to look at editing, enhancing, organizing your emails so that they're pimped up, they've got something that's really nice about them, and you present them in the way that you want. You can place your logos, you can place your branding so that it fully represents you and it keeps your organizational, your corporate identity in check, and is also thoroughly presented in the manner that you want. So all of this is going to deal with the representation of where we are. Then we're going to look at how to apply electronic messaging calendar aspect. Now, calendar is important because this is scheduling. You are people that have meetings. You might want to, I think maybe what you're doing now, some of you are using the calendar to know when you are going to meet certain people at a certain point. Some of you may even be using the calendar aspect of your Outlook to schedule your meetings, because when you do that, you are able to inform someone via email when the meeting will take place. And when you do that, it immediately automatically posts a calendar item on their own Outlook broadcast. And this is what this particular section is going to deal with. So in short, or was that long? This is what we're going to cover in the next 2 weeks. Unfortunately, we couldn't so much start today because of all the administration work that we had to do. But what I encourage you to do, because now we're going to get to the portal so you can see the learner material and where to find it and how you can interact with that learner. It's called a learner management system, LMS, when it comes to electronic learning. And you'll know where to find the content, the way you are able to reference all these different unit standards that I've talked about. The learner material that you'll find there has the content that's required. Even though we will cover part of it in class, we cannot cover 100% of everything, because then that would require more time. However, making it available to you in the form of electronic books, you are able to go back by taking a look at the outline that will be provided for you by this particular platform. You're able to reference back to your books. And once you reference back to your books, you're able to pull out the information, and then all the difficult aspects that you find there, you reference back to the facilitator through the communication channels that are there. And these are namely the portal itself, which you're going to become familiar with just now, and WhatsApp groups, which is instant communication, and of course, electronic mail, which allows us to attach various things to it. So I don't know if Mr. Mdu, let me see if he's available somewhere to take us through the portal, because the portal is going to be a key part of this particular training. That is your learner management environment. Okay, so whilst I'm waiting for affirmation from the gentleman who will introduce us to the portal, 10:30, so we have about 30 or so minutes to get into that portal and also get questions coming from you. So whilst we're waiting for that gentleman to confirm his time, I see a hand up from Ralete. If you may go ahead and give your contribution. Thank you. Ralete, please go ahead. Matsazi? Okay, if maybe you put up your hand by mistake. Let's move on to Jeanette. Jeanette, your hand is up.
Good morning. Sorry, it sounds like there's a bit of an echo. I just wanted to check. I missed a bit about the registration. I struggled a little bit to get into log in. So there was something about registration. Is there something specific we need to do to be registered in this meeting, in this training?
Okay, with regard to, my microphone goes in and out. With regard to registration, we have an administrator.
You're muted, okay, we can't hear you.
Okay, microphone back on. We have a gentleman called Bongani Matwele. He is the administrator of this program. And by taking a look at everybody who is attending today on Teams, we're going to reference back and ensure or find out if you received what is called a Google form, in which everyone was meant to complete. And with every single interaction, that form will be made available for you. So registration, the administration office is taking a look into that, to ensure that everyone is amply advised of their presence when we do this training. I don't know if I've answered you there, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Sir. Hello,
okay, thank you. Thank you, Jeanette. Ralete, your hand is still up.
Hello, Mujaji here.
Yes,
sorry
Mujaji.
For interruption, sir.
Yes, we had wanted you to speak earlier, but you were quiet. Please go ahead.
I'm sorry, no, it was a gen matter. So I just want to apologize on behalf of Tshwane South. We had to attend an urgent meeting of the welcoming.
Are you ready?
Hello, sir. Fine. Okay.
You're muted again. We can't hear you.
Sheila Ramoroka Mulefe, Gail Lancelot, and yeah, all of us, Tema, if he's here, And yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, okay. So you're all in one place. Are you like a group on one
Yeah.
computer?
No, we are in one place where we're going to meet the director, but we were listening to them. We were attending the meeting in our cars or whatever. Now we're going to the hall.
Okay, to meet with the director. Right, we
Yes.
understand. Maybe that explains our numbers as we're starting off. Okay, thank you, Mchachi.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
Right. We would like to get to the portal now. If you are available, can you assist on that? Ola, I see your hand is up, sir. Mr. Mhlanga?
Yes, good morning, sir. Just want to assist the colleagues who are participating together in one hall. In future, colleagues, I just want to request that we make sure we log in using different devices, even if you are sort of together, coming from one area or one office location. For the sake of the registers and proving attendance, may I just, Mr. Gaylord, through you, sir, highlight that in future we would request that all delegates use separate devices, because it will then misrepresent the attendance registers, and some of us might then be seen not to have attended yet we're together. But as you have correctly stated, sir, this is the beginning of the program. So these are some of the things that we just need to mention so that we are all aware of what needs to happen there. So yes, we understand, and thank you guys for showing commitment and participating together in a car. And let's hope you are able to social distance and keep safe in the vehicle there. But yes, we acknowledge your presence and thank you for letting the team know that you are there. Thank you, Mr. Gaylord.
Hello, I cannot.
All right, thank you, Ola. Right, thank you, Ola. He's right. What happens with Microsoft Teams is that the moment you log on, your logon becomes your registration. There is a facility that is included which confirms your registration. So if you don't log on personally, you are basically seen as not being present. This is why the GDE made an effort to ensure that everybody has their own laptop. So, Mam Mchachi, we understand today that it was a peculiar case because of what you need to do. But moving forward, everybody, please log on using the device that you've been given. At least you've been given that particular capability. Use that, and it also allows you to save your documents and actually do the work that you need to do in this qualification. Thank you. Hans, go ahead, sir.
Good morning. The issue I would like to raise this morning is that we managed to log on, but once we've logged on, two of my colleagues could not access. And the question raised by caller then becomes difficult, Munir, to say my logging in becomes my registration. How do we address that issue? Thank you.
Right, that's okay. That's noted, sir. We're having the technical guys take a look at that about access issues. So access issues are important, and our technical team that actually deals with the connectivity and all those aspects will reference back to you individually. We've got your name, sir. And we'll get more information on what that difficulty was. If it's a Teams issue, which comes out from this particular learning platform, we'll be able to engage with it and rectify it. Thank you. Bonolo.
Good morning, colleagues. Colleagues, I've got a question. I didn't get any communication from this platform. I only understood now that we have a training today. So I'm asking if are there groups
Are we going to be included in the next group or what? Because I haven't got any communication. So I joined now from my colleague who sent me a link.
All right, thanks for that. It was brought up at the very beginning by, okay, I'm going to answer it in two forms. Some of you did not receive communication because there may be a glitch with regard to having your email address. So the administrator of this program is going to go back over the entire database, make sure that we have a fully updated email address, and everyone will receive a communication with regard to that. The second aspect is, if you did not receive any communication whatsoever in particular, or you may have chosen to pull out of the system, we were actually advised that you shouldn't really share the links that come to this platform, because that link is individualized to yourself. That's why it carries your email address on it. And when you don't receive one, it actually then means that you shouldn't be part of this particular session. Yet, as I initially said, the administrator of the program, who is listening in right now, is going to go back and cross-reference every single person that should be here, all 350 of you, and ensure that there is corrections made where there's been any omissions done. Thank you. Now, Mdudu Z, are you available to take us through the portal, sir? Okay, I think I'm getting word that yes, Mduduzi is available and you're coming on now to take a look at the portal. So I'm pretty sure that most of you, if not all of you, have actually received an email telling you that you've been logged onto the official portal or learning management system that we are using here from Extensive Site. So I'm going to attempt to open it here, and in the same space, wait for Mdu to actually take us through on to it. Where is my portal? I'm going to attempt to open it on my side, and as soon as Mdu is available, he will take us through the whole work that we're supposed to do. So this is the learner management portal, and you would have received
Goifert, you're muted. We can't hear you, and there's nothing on the screen.
I'm just going to go to the very start, what we call the sign in and log on page. Maybe I should start by logging out. Do please advise when you're on, because you're the subject matter expert on the technical things, and that would really be your domain, and you're full.
Just to come in, Mr. Ndlovusekola here. I think to add on to your response, sir, with regards to the portal, as we wait for your screen to appear, we also want to add, colleagues, that there is
any questions
of colleagues that are available on the portal. So there is those that have received previously the portal invitation, and they were able to log in and they were able to access the portal. Those colleagues, if they've unfortunately lost their credentials, there is the option to reset your password. So I think that would be one suggestion from our side that says use the reset button to get your credentials if you've previously lost them, if you had access onto the portal before. And then just to put it as an underline to say, please make sure that you keep your password and credentials safe for both Microsoft Teams and also your Extensive portal login details. So if you have changed your email address, then what you would need to do is you would need to communicate to all of us at Extensive, the facilitation team, the admin team, so that you forward that detail to the colleagues in the background that will be assisting to make sure you are able to reset your password and get it again. But we would like to request that we save those credentials. We have them ready all the time. So write them down, note them, so that you don't misplace them or lose them in any way. Over to you, Mr. Ndlovu again. I think that was my contribution to say, please allow colleagues to just use the login reset option if they've lost their credentials. I think a few of us, it's been a while, we might find we can't access them again. Thank you, Mr. Ndlovu. Over to you, sir. Okay. I'm not hearing Mr. Ndlovu. Bonolo, you can come through so long whilst we wait for Mr. Ndlovu to activate his mic. I see your hand is up, Bonolo. Okay, Bonolo, if you are speaking behind a muted microphone, you can go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, she has spoken already. She just forgot to unmute.
To unmute, oh, to put the hands down. Okay, yes, Bonolo, if you are able, please put your hand down. Thanks,
the key thing about
Okay, sorry, Mr. Ndlovu, your microphone seems to be giving us a bit of a challenge. You are muted, Mr. Ndlovu, sir. Just check for us if you're able to unmute yourself. Yes, we can see you. You are there, but you are muted, sir. You're okay. We can see you visibly. You are there. Unfortunately,
can you hear me now?
There you go. Now we can hear and see you now, sir.
Okay, so I was saying with regard to the portal, please interact with the material that's there. The learner material that you are going to get, it's critical that you don't put it aside. It is the key basis of what you require to achieve this qualification. It's very important that as we move on with the speed that we have to do in order to achieve the 6 months, that we all work as a team, we all come in together, and we ensure that no one gets left behind. So there's going to be dates given to you on when to submit your particular assessments. And it's going to be about 12, but the 12, 13, thereabout assessments that must come in within the 5-6 months. The critical aspect is that in the 5-6 months, you don't get left behind with what we are doing. So that's the critical part with the portal. Mtuduzi, are you ready? Okay, who's playing music? Somebody. All right.
You're muted again. We can't hear you.
Okay, if Mtu is not coming on, I'll log on to the portal and do it from here. All right, logging on. So sharp. So there we go. This is the portal. So this starts. And if you click on your...
Sorry, Mr. Ndlovu. There's a little bit of feedback. I think it's coming from our colleague, Mr. Makele. Okay, Mr. Ndlovu, I think you are being affected by you are muted again. I think you are being affected by a device that could be sending some interference. I don't know if you are able to assist with that. You are currently muted. We can see your screen, Mr. Ndlovu. You are just currently muted.
Jay, how are you? Good day, how are you? Go ahead. Okay. My name is Mtutuzi from Extensive. I'm the one who's responsible for the portal of Extensive. We created the portal last year. It was due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We managed to upload 350 delegates, teachers and subject advisors, which was last year. And then we were supposed to proceed using the portal. The portal was created. Unfortunately, we had some delegates who decided not to continue with the program. And then we also had new delegates who decided to join the program. So if you can see from here, the website for the link is extensiveict.udu.com. Am I loud and clear?
Kindly repeat the website.
The website is extensiveict.udu.com. You can see, I can even highlight it here. So when you go straight to extensiveict.udu.com, this will be your home page. It says Extensive ICT Academy Learner Portal. So most of you who were here last year, I managed to send you all of you what do we call this? I managed to send all you invites to the portal. When you get an invite to the portal, you will get an email like this. Let me show you the email. Everyone was added here. I'm just waiting for my emails to come up. Most of you did get this kind of invitation. It was last year, even this year, I sent few invitations, and also the new ones who joined the program, I did send the invitations to you to sign in the portal.
Oh, I think it's $.
Okay. While I'm waiting for this one to open, I'll sign in as a candidate. Okay, it's still open. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. You'll get an invite. When you get an invite, you'll be directed straight to this portion, to this part. This is the extensive portal that I'm talking about right now. This is a learning portal which was created for this program for 350 learners. Most of you were sent invitations from last year. Others did receive invitations last week. So the kind of invitation I'm talking about is this invitation to share it. Yeah, it's coming up. Should be coming up. So I just made an example saying that dear learner 3. I'm not sure if you can see my screen. This is what they're saying. Okay, let me change this one here. Okay. Here is my screen now. Can you see the screen? I made an example of saying that, dear learner, you've been invited to join a new course, which is called the National Certificate Information Technology. So once you click in the course, it will take you straight to this. Let me see that one. When you click course, it will take you straight to this one. Guys, how do I switch screens?
Okay, person. This has to stop sharing and reshare it again. I want.
The reason we're having an issue here is that I need to stop sharing and then I need to reshare again because I'm using 2 pages here. Am I loud and clear?
Yes, you are.
Yes. When you log in, it will straight take you to the extensive portal as a learner. The reason I was switching side, I wanted to show you from the email side and then I also wanted to show you from the learner side. Can you see the learner side? It says learner 3. Those emails are sent, it includes your name and your surname and your email address. This is the home page of the course. The home page of the course, there's home, there's courses, there's also contact details for extensive, and then your details are here. There's agreements, there's assessment, and then you can log out also. So when you click on the link from your email, it will take you straight to this page. And then if you want to access your assessment or your details from the portal, you go straight to courses. Can you see it states that the learnership program, you can start your online course today. You can pick a course, you can go down there. There are many courses made for our delegates here. There's a demo. If you want to understand about the portal, you can play around the demo. And then if now you understand the portal, you can go straight to National Certificate Information. There are still more, and then there's an Odoo system. And Odoo system, it's a system that created the Odoo, the portal of Extensive Academy. So when you go straight to this one, you can see there's a national certificate, which is the program we are running right now. If you click on it, it will load. These here are our content. And this is the guidelines to the new Extensive Brand online portal. You can open, you can download. After downloading, you can read, and then you can also attach it back. These are our fundamentals and content for the program that we will be running. There's a use of internet, there's MS Word, there's internet and learner guide, there's access. Every content which is required to this program is attached to the portal. You can just click and then you can download, you can read, and then when we upload the assessment to the portal, it will be visible here. You will see that there's an assessment which is uploaded on the portal. You are able to download the assessment, complete the assessment, submit the assessment. I'll go back to my home page. Remember, this one is for a learner. This is what you'll be seeing. I'll go back again to my home page. I'm signing in. Okay.
Upload an assessment so that you can see upload assessment.
So now I'm in my home page. This home page, I'd like to show you. This is from the extensive site view. This is where all your details are being captured. Each and every detail contract, when it comes to contract, ID number, everything is here. We've already captured. We've already also invited one of a few of our learners, including those ones who left the program, and then even including those who joined the program again. So the e-learning portal, it's very easy and it's understandable. You can play around it from this side of view. You can play around it. You can check. I can upload some assessments. You can just go through the assessments. You can just submit. I can also create a survey. You can go through the assessment. That's why it's important for those contracts to have email addresses here. We have all the list here of contracts. I can't open any contract here because these are personal information. If you can see from the view here, we have 240 learners here. They are packed according to their venues, their ID, and then their course. These are the first bench which came last year and then which were captured. I'll go also to my contract. When I'm talking about my contact, it doesn't mean only it's only the delegates from the venues, only those ones who are learning. Remember, when it comes to this portal, it means that even the company is here, even our company name is here, or even our sponsors, the ETTP is here. I can come to search. You can see these are some of our delegates, Pretoria East. These are some of our delegates here. Let me check CETA. CETA. Okay, I wanted to show you this MIC CETA. This is one of our sponsors. We have every information here. We are a registered training provider. I can even come to, let me show you our e-learning. That's where we upload your assessments. You see, we have 3 courses here. On those 3 courses here, the one which was created for training purposes was the demo NCIT. This is our original one. I've only granted you permission to access the portal. The one which I was using here as an example for learner 3 is already granted permission to the portal, and then it's also invited to the course. Remember, if you are not invited to the course, you won't be able to see the content which is inside the course. So even if you have a link, but I still need to confirm if you are in the course. That's why me and my admin will have to go through the list and make sure who's in the program and then who's not in the program. Even regarding those ones who are saying someone forwarded you an email or a link to join the meeting, we're going to finalize that one, and then we're going to see that you are in the list or you are not in the list. So when I invite you to the course, I just come straight here and then I invite you to the course. Even if you have a link to the portal, but you won't be able to have permission to access the course. That's what we are going to verify first. I'm going to my home page. Please confirm with my admin. You can send an email or you can send a WhatsApp. If you didn't receive the invitation. Remember, the invitation only comes to you as an email, and then it specifies both your names and your surname. So if you didn't receive it, it means you are not uploaded to the portal, or it might be you are still new to the program, or you didn't submit this, either your contract or your consent form. Okay, yeah, this is how it is. This is how I'm inviting you to the course. So I'll be inviting myself here, Tutuzi Swane. So as it specifies here, it will come straight as all your names and your ID, and then you will click view course, and then this is your portal. If there are any questions, I can see there's a hand. Okay, I'd like to take hands. Okay, I'll start with Winnie Mamokhetla.
Good morning, colleagues. It's Mona Khotla. It's not Mamokhetla.
Oh, sorry.
My ancestors will fight. Colleagues, my concern, because I was not part of the introduction, I would like to raise my concern with Mr. Ndlovu and other facilitators. I'm worried, Mr. Ndlovu, because now when you took us through the overview, you mentioned everything that we need to do, but I'm not sure if you are aware that last year we were doing the same course. However, there were things, COVID caught up with us and we were stopped, but we did some few assignments. I'm not sure if you are going to consider that or you are starting all over again with us. Another concern is what my colleagues have raised, and I think it was not properly answered as you were waiting for GDE to answer that question. So my concern, I'm raising it again, it is data. Like other colleagues have indicated that we are going to struggle with data. So I am not sure, because this is a learnership course. We were supposed to get resources, and they are saying that resources are available. Can they clearly mention how are we going to assess the cost and which resources are available as we are also faced with this pandemic? So those are my two concerns. Thank you.
Your question is noted. The next question is Anthony Lipule.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone. My question is on the email part and the portal. I've received an email on the Gmail, so I'm not sure whether I can use the Gauteng email or I'm restricted to use the Gmail. And then if there's a possibility of me changing from the Gmail to the Gauteng domain email, how will I do that? Thanks.
All right, your question is noted, sir. Can I have Lisibu?
Good morning, colleagues. It's Disable, not Disable. Colleague, I'm just asking that you can resend the invite to access the portal, please. Because I understand that even if you got the invitation and then you did not complete that invitation, you are not part of the course. Thank you.
I'll answer that. It's noted, ma'am. Can I have Jessica?
I have received the email last year and I did access the portal, but to access it now, I forgot my password. How do I reset that password to get into that portal again?
Okay, I've got that one. I'll answer.
There's a lost password, something that you click on.
Yeah, I'll answer that one for you. I see the other hand, Gladys Mokoroha.
Yeah, good morning, sir. With me, I was able to access the portal and to sign in, but unfortunately, the information does not download completely. It always downloads up to 25, and then it aborts, and then again 25%. I was never able to open it completely. Maybe was it because it's suspended or what? I'm just not sure. Thank you.
Noted. Yeah, I think we can close the questions. Regarding the first one, it was about the resources, the data, and then the starting over. I'll give that one to Mr. Ndlovu. He'll answer that one. For Lipuli, I remember you've asked the question about you received the invite on a Gmail account, which is your personal email account. We had a discussion by the time we were creating a portal that since you have the school domain email, why don't we send it to the domain so that it can be easier for you to access it, because some of you gave us your personal email addresses, but others gave us their work email addresses. So we had to decide from that one. But since this one is the GDE, you have your own domain. I prefer if everyone who's here, you can send me an email and then I'll resend you the invitations to your school email account. I'll type in my email address here so I can resend the invitations. Remember, I'm resending the invitations to the portal. I'm just granting you access to the portal. I won't be granting you access to the course yet. Okay, I have another one. It was Lise Bomore. She wanted me to resend the portal link. Okay, I think I've covered that one. You can also send me an email giving me your email addresses. Remember, I'm still going to confirm if I do have you on my list. If I don't have you on my list, I'll have to look for your contract. If I find your contract, then I'll put your information to the portal, and then I'll just grant you access to the portal. You'll just receive an email granting you access, but you won't be able to see the course yet. You might see it tomorrow because I need to verify if you are fully in our program. For Jessica, I think I've also answered that one. You forgot your password, or I didn't answer that one. If you forgot your password, there's where it says forgot password. You just click there, and then after clicking there, it will send a link to your email where you received a link. And then you'll also get a link where it says confirm if this is your email. And then you'll confirm your email. After confirming your email, you will type a new password, and then you'll confirm the password, and then you'll have access to the portal again. Thank you. I'll give it to Mr. Ndlovu. It was regarding the data and the start of, but I think it was answered before.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Du. I'll just quickly answer that very first question where you asked about assessments that have been submitted last year. I'll get back to all of you on that part, because yes, it's exactly the same assessments as we did. I suppose my mind was thinking a lot about the new guys coming in, so everything was taken in as being new. So I'm taking it back to the administrators, and we will give you communication to that effect. Obviously, in my mind, it says if you've done it, you've done it. So, but then I'll give information on that note. And that would be before the end of the day today. Thank you. Then there is a message here from Sibongani Makwele, and he says that every person that feels that there was some communication error, you were not contacted, you even got that information from somebody else, please use the email address that we showed you earlier on. It was junior.administrator@extensiveict.co.za, so that he can deal with your matter individually and directly. So if you say, I was supposed to be on, I received some communication, but I did not get the link for today, do send email to junior.administrator@extensiveict.co.za, or use this WhatsApp number that I'm going to give you now. Just note it quickly, and you can actually write it's 066 304 2052. 066 304 2052. Then we will quickly attend to your question. There's another email, another WhatsApp number that I'll give you as well, so that there is a dual aspect if you don't get a response from one. The second one is 067 752 9394. 067 752 9394. So it's 10:30 or just 4 minutes after 10:30. We're supposed to have concluded. I see there is 2 hands that are there, but I just want to mention let's see whose hands those are, so that we're fully aware on that part. We don't want to leave anybody out, but then again, we also don't want your data to be depleted. There's a hand from Tebuko, and it's just 1 hand. It's 3 hands. So we'll just take those 3 hands and we conclude, because I don't want to overstretch the time that we had to deal with this session. There will be communication that will come in after this with regards to all the kinks that we met today, because when it comes to Thursday, we want to ensure that we're just flowing out smoothly and we don't have any hindrances, and we can immediately begin to interact with the material at a more extensive manner, rather than just the summary that I gave this morning, but we can get more extensive and also deal with your questions that will come in from you as you interact with the material that you download from the portal. So there is 4 hands, we'll just quickly take them and we will conclude for the day. First hand is from Tebuko, I believe.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Mute. Can you mute?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, madam.
Okay, can you repeat the last number, please? I missed a number here. It's 067 752.
067.
Yes.
752.
Yes.
067 752 29 39 4.
7522939.
067.
Yes.
75.
75.
29. 394.
394.
Yes.
This is another number.
The first one you got was 066. I gave you 2 numbers.
Yes, the second one, we're missing some numbers there. The second one.
Okay, I'll repeat both numbers. The first number I gave you was 066.
Yes.
304 2052.
Yes.
066 304 2052. The second number is 067 752 9394 067 752 9394. Those numbers, if you send your query, will be dealt with almost before the end of the day today. Rashida Suleiman.
And your
Thank
name,
you.
sir?
Sorry. Thank you. Good morning. Mduduzi said he's sharing his email address. I haven't seen it appearing on the screen. I just needed to know whether he has a separate email address, a different email address to the email that we are receiving mail from. Is that junior administrated extensive ict.co.za from Mduduzi, or does he have a separate email that he's using in order to send the link to the portal to us? Thank you.
Junior administrator is basically the administrator of the program, and that would be your primary communication email address. The one that Mduduzi is going to use is from our technical support, and it will be different from junior administrator.
Okay, so he indicated that he's sharing the address with us in order for us to send an email to him regarding the link to the portal. So if you could kindly share that, thank you.
Mduduzi, could you assist with the address, please?
Okay.
Okay, my email address is it.
Did you receive the email of the emails?
At extensive ICT.
Okay, please do me a favor, just send me your full details and also your correct email address. Then
co.za. I'll repeat the question. I'll repeat the email. It's it@extensiveict.co.za. The first letter is X, which is XT. Can I take Tebuho? Are you answered?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mhlanga.
Could you please repeat the email address?
Let's see if we can actually write it on the screen for everybody.
Okay. We'll write it on screen for everybody to see it. We'll give you two email accounts. It's the junior, and for technical staff, it's IT. Can we take Ola, please? Your hands was up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mdu. Thank you, Mr. Gaylord. I just wanted to refer questions regarding the data. I'm not sure. I don't think we still have a representative from GDE in the meeting. That question, I just wanted to say from extensive, we are unfortunately hence bound. We are not able to respond sufficiently to that one. So I would ask colleagues to politely please just check within GDE, and the most likely polite culprit for this one would be Walter. So if you could please approach him or drop him an email in that regard. We don't have a definite response. We are not the right party to respond there. And that's my contribution. Other than that, I think I just want to also say that for technical questions, the same procedure, colleagues. We will ask GDE to assist with contact details that we can share for technical support questions. So for instance, there's a colleague who says they tried to download from the portal and halfway through the download was terminated. You can't log on to your laptop, your Microsoft Word is not working fine. Those technical issues, we will ask for the correct email to distribute so that we're able to address them. But it should be the default contact detail that you have on a daily basis that assists with those questions. Having said that, I think Mr. Gaylord from my side, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mdu. Thanks to everyone who was in the meeting. See you all on Thursday or when we meet again. Thank you.
Okay, can we have Umpo? Okay, Mpho is fine.
Thank you very much. Just for the future, I don't know whether I was in Microsoft team for such a long time, and maybe I've got a little bit of an experience, I'm not sure. So, as you were giving cell phone numbers and, emails per individual, I felt so uncomfortable. I'm thinking in the future, if there is information that is needed by the majority or individuals, it can be wise for you to do exactly what you are doing right now. Or after the meeting, the program, it does allow you to come back and post your presentation. Or you can email to the majority and show as to where can we request for relevant information, just to alleviate time, and also for the people that doesn't need that email. Or now it's a confusion because one is giving email, one is giving a cell phone number. Then for me, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit dumb, I'm not sure, but I don't need an answer. And then the second one, the screen itself, the program itself, in the future, I'm not sure whether you will like that, because I can see the screen is, it's uncontrollable. Meaning in future, you can control this screen in such a way that you can be able to mute people that are talking behind while you're presenting. Or you can even make sure that, we don't cloud you, because there was a person who was talking about, director, they are leaving and whatever, and there was a confusion there. So you can be able to control your screen in such a way that, people like us, when we fidget, we don't, fiddle with your screen in such a way that other people don't get information. So your presentation also, the content, the layout of your content in the future, we baby stepping in this, a program. But I can say, previously, what I have learned with you, I have gained a lot. So today's presentation, I looked at it, I said, it's clouded in such a way, I'm not sure. You started as baby step, giving us as to how to, to access a assessment. And then you got off into another part where it confused me. You were talking about, I saw you were sifting as to how to sift and get CETA and get, your name and get somebody else and the students there. I don't know whether this training is gonna lead us into sifting, CETA and, the screen. I'm not sure. Because the minute when you went there, I got lost as to how to link, assessment and the screen that you were opening. So in short, what I'm saying, whatever you're opening on the screen, you're flagging here, it must be something that is, linking to our need for the qualification. So the last one is a question. I don't know whether I'm lost, because I heard Kola saying now it's a goodbye. I don't know whether he's just saying goodbye because he's going to another meeting. For me, it's like a goodbye, and then what am I going to do right now? I just need a clarity as to where is this assessment? Is the assessment going to still be uploaded for us? We're gonna get a link that is going to direct us to the assessment. I like, you said we're going to, when we are, given that assessment, we're going to be able to download. But another question that I wanted to say, so it means the assessment is not going to be completed on the program. It's going to be downloaded to the other side, let me say to the desktop, and then from there we complete there and send it to a particular email. Because I was looking at it to say immediately you download, it means you are going to send it to a particular email. That's what I wanted just to know for, way forward before Ola says goodbye, because I got so scared when he said now. Goodbye. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for that contribution. Everything has been noted. And I did mention at the beginning that a lot of what's taking place is that we are establishing a framework in which to operate. I also mentioned that with all the contributions that you've given us today and the communication that is being placed on your screen right now, we are going to ensure that all the kinks are ironed out and we don't have this kind of interaction moving forward. The last question that you asked about the assessment. The assessments themselves, Mr. Dudu Zwane did mention that they would be available on the portal for you to download. And also in parallel, what we will do is find a way, probably through email, to ensure that you get the same material. The reason it is downloaded is because it requires you to complete a Word document, and that's where you put your responses. After which you upload it back to the portal, the learner management system, which Umtu is going to make sure that everyone has access to, has a link to get onto after he verifies that you are registered for this particular qualification in this specific term. That is the uploading and the downloading that is taking place, ma'am. Yes, the assessment itself is not done now. It requires you to interact with the training material that you will also download from the portal that Duo was showing to you within the courses part of that learner management system. The reason for that is because we want you to interact with the material itself. That's part of what the self-study component of the SITA requirement is, that after we've given you an outline, guideline, answered questions, and led you, demonstrated some of the things here in the class, you also go in and practice, because ultimately it's not about head knowledge, it is about you being capable to do the particular work that the SITA requests. That's called occupational training as it goes on. I hope I've responded to all the questions. Now, seeing that there is no hand up, I would like to close this. Mpo, is that a follow-up question? Okay, Mpo, I'll give it to you, then I close, because the time has moved on and we don't want to impede on anyone's work that they are doing.
Okay, thank you very much. You're talking about the assessment are going to be uploaded, and it's gonna be also sent into emails. Okay, my question is, because I heard Winnie asking about there are some portions that we have already done. So when you upload the assessment, how will we know that we supposed to complete it or not? Because I'm not sure when are you going to upload it. So let me say you are going to upload it this afternoon, and we don't have that answer that Winnie asked to say maybe portion 1 I have completed it. So do I have to complete it? Because you remember you were talking about Tuesday and was it Thursday? So when I'm listening, according to what you said, there is no time to waste. Immediately you give the assessment, I need to complete, because on Thursday I'm gonna get a formative assessment. So how will I know that this assessment that you are posting immediately just now for Tuesday, how will I know that I'm supposed to complete or not? Actually, I'm referring back to Winnie to say, how will we know that we need to complete, because we have done some of the portions. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Paul. In my response to that, I said before the end of the day, today, that's end of working day, which could probably be 1 minute after this session is together, I will get back to you, and everyone will be fully aware of what is required of them with regard to the assessments, because they are important, as you've mentioned. Thank you. Now, I mentioned at some point that we're closing. We've come to the end of this particular session, and we haven't just crawled. I think we're now standing up, we're beginning to walk, and we're actually going to run. And some of the promises we got from the team, the technical on the access to the learner management system and making sure that the system is seamless, they are going to go back after the session to actually take a look at what difficulties did we meet today, because in planning phase, everything is always perfect, but we want to get to the ideal phase. I mean, in planning, everything is ideal, but we want to get to a point of being perfect so that we ensure that with regard to learner delivery or material delivery, we don't have any issues on that. And also with regard to registration and admission, the administrators are going to take a look at that. With regard to GDE, whatever has been raised, you have liaisons who are here present and also from extensive side, and we'll make sure that everything is referenced back to your superiors. And hopefully then when we come into Thursday, everything is seamlessly done. And also in the area of engagement, communication, assessments, that will be dealt with today, and everyone will be familiar with that information. So in conclusion, I'd like to say thank you for your time. Thank you for being part of this session. Thank you for going through whatever growing pains we started with today. And but we've birthed, we've now birthed, we've gone through that process. And moving forward now, it says let's apply ourselves totally to what we need to do to ensure that we get this qualification. This qualification is, as I mentioned earlier, not only for yourself, but it is getting the necessary skills, competence to actually apply yourself in order to build the nation, in order to build and develop our own country, our continent, and to change the whole perspective about education in this country and the people that come out of this country. So in those very, very few words, thanks again. There will be communication coming through, but the bulk of you will meet again on Thursday. You may disconnect now as we go on. Thank you for your time. And if there's any continuous, if you want to continue to communicate or you have questions, we gave you the email address for technical. We gave you, right on your screen right now. From the administrator side, we've got your the information that's right there. Take a note of it, communicate, and let's iron out all the kinks. Thank you for your time, and God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gaylord.
Thank you, Gaylord.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Bye.
Siyabonga.
No, I'm just gonna go ahead. Just leave it. They don't change the box. Okay. Today she said that it's enough.